Namaskar and happy morning to all the viewers. Respected Additional Director Sir, respected Joint Director Sir, webinar team members, principals, teachers, and dear students. Welcome you all to the Senior Intermediate Economics webinar. I am Ranjita Logishetty, Principal, Telangana Model School, Nedimanur Mandal, Nalgonda District. Children, Telangana is one of the fastest growing states in India, posting an average annual growth rate of 13.9% over last 5 years. Telangana's nominal gross state domestic product, that is GSDP, and average for the year 2020 and 21 stands at 11.05 lakh crores. Children, do you know how the word Telangana name originated to our state? It came from Trilinga Desa, which means land of three lingas, because we have three important Shaivite shrines which were located here, that is Kaleshwaram, Srisailam, and Draksharamam. This word Tilinga changed over the time to Telangana. Agriculture, which is the backbone of Telangana's economy, and it is the predominant and mostly the Telugu speaking region. That's why our TRS government, which was formed in 2014, redesigned the Kaleshwaram lift irrigation project, which is the costliest irrigation project taken by our state, any state till this date, with an estimation cost of 80,500 crores. The project holds the key to the TRS government, promising of providing irrigation facility to 1 crore acres of land, and designed by our government for the upliftment and welfare of Telangana people. To gain more and interesting knowledge about our state, let's learn from the chapter 10, Telangana Economy, lesson 2, from our today's presenter, Srimati T. Pravina, PGT Economics from Telangana Model School, Puduru Mandal, Vikarabad District. Madam is good orator. She has a good subject knowledge. She is having a lot of patience in emphasizing the content to the children in a detailed way, and she is also a good resource person for the digital classes. So let's welcome Pravina ma'am. Ma'am, welcome for this session. Now this session is all yours.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. I welcome all the webinar team members, principals of Telangana Model School and Junior College, teachers, students, and dear viewers. So today, in this intermediate second year economic webinar session, we will be learning about Unit 10, Structural Transformation of Telangana Economy, Part 2, children. So in the previous session, we have learned about how the Hyderabad state has come into existence, and we have learned how the formation of AP, Andhra Pradesh state has taken place, and how the Telangana state has been emerged and under different circumstances, isn't it? And we also have learned the various demographic transitions of Telangana economy, and we have learned about the agriculture sector in Telangana state, and we have learned about the industrial sector in Telangana, and the various programs and the initiatives which are taken up by the Telangana government. And we also have learned about the services provided by the Telangana government, and we also have learned the various tourist places which are located in Telangana state, children. So today we will learn about the infrastructural development in Telangana, irrigational sources which are available in our state, and the energy sector which is available in Telangana state, and education in Telangana, health sector in Telangana, poverty and unemployment status in Telangana, and the various development and welfare programs in our Telangana state. So children, we'll be learning about the infrastructural facilities in Telangana state. So what are infrastructural facilities? So children, the economic development of a country, it depends on the development of the three sectors, the mainly the primary, secondary and tertiary sector, isn't it? So if these sectors have to develop, it is very essential for the development of infrastructural facilities. So these infrastructural facilities are of two types. First one is economic infrastructural facilities, and the second one is social infrastructure facilities. So what are economic infrastructural facilities? So these are the services or the facilities which are used in economic production. So what are they means? The energy, the irrigation, transportation, postal, telecommunication and banking facilities, these all are included in economic infrastructure. And the social infrastructure, children. So these are the facilities that will support the social services like education, health, housing, sanitation, family and labor welfare. Now another sector, children, the energy sector in Telangana. So we all know that the majority, the Telangana state, it is an agrarian economy, and we have industries, more number of industries existing. And not only that, we also see that there are more number of service sectors uh, uh, in our Telangana economy. So because of having so much utilization of energy in our economy, it is one of the highest power utilizing state, children. So if you see, we have two corporations. One is TS Genco. It is Generation Corporation of Telangana Limited. So this corporation, it is incorporated on 19th May 2014, and it includes the contracting parties of private sector. So it supplies so many megawatts units of energy to private sector. 7,735.39 megawatts is being supplied to private sector, and 5,825 megawatts of energy is being supplied to state sector, and 2,536 comes under central sector, and 66 and 76 megawatt of energy comes under interstate. So TS Genco, it has a capacity of 5,825 megawatts of energy, and it comprises of thermal energy. It is around 3,382 megawatts, and hydel energy is 2,441 megawatts, and solar energy, it's around 1,001 megawatt, children. So keeping this in view, the demand for the power after formation of the Telangana state, uh, the our Telangana government, it has established two thermal power projects, children. So it consists, it will produce 5,000 megawatts of energy. And what are the power stations? Is first one is Bhadradri Thermal Power Station. So this is located in Yedula Bayaram. It is located in Khammam district. And Yadadri Thermal Power Station. This is in Damarcharla, located in Nalgonda district, children. And after that, we also have TS Transco, Telangana State Transmission Corporation of Telangana Limited. So this, after the formation of Telangana State, so this organization, it take care of the transmission needs of the state, and it has established 112 EH substations and 833 by 11 kV substations, and it has established 2002 2 lakh 54 dis transformers are being established by this TS Transco's, children. And the major power projects in Telangana are, first one is the National Thermal Power Corporation. It is called as NTPC, and it is located in Ramagundam. It is in Karimnagar district. And another power station, power project, children, it is in Kottagudam. It is Kottagudam Thermal Power Corporation. It is named as, it is called as KTPC, and it is situated in Palwoncha, and this is in Khammam district, children. And the third power project is Kakatiya Thermal Power Corporation. It is located in Bhupalpalli. It is in Warangal district. And not only that, there are major hydroelectricity power plants in Telangana state. They are located in Nagarjun Sagar, Pochampadu, Singur, Nizam Sagar, and Pulichintala. And we have power distribution companies in our Telangana state. So there are two power distribution companies, children. The first one is Telangana State Southern Power Distribution Company Limited, and the other one is Telangana North Power Distribution Company Limited. And if you see how the distribution of energy takes place in our Telangana state, if you observe this table, children, see the domestic means how the household people utilize. See, almost 72% of energy is being utilized by domestic people or for household, and non-domestic purpose is they are used only 9%, and industries they use 0.65% of energy, and agriculture it utilizes 16% of the total energy which is generated in our Telangana state. So it means that there are almost 1.53 crore services connection in our state, and 73% of the energy consumption it is in form of domestic consumption only. And we have and a program is initiated by the Telangana government, that is 24 hours power supply to agriculture sector. So first state this is the first state in our country to supply free 24 hours electricity to agriculture sector. And this scheme or this provision has come into effect from 1st January 2018, children. And now we'll see the irrigation in Telangana, children. So in an agrarian society economy like our Telangana, agriculture is very important. So agriculture depends on the productivity, okay? And the production of agriculture, it depends on the availability of irrigation facilities, children. So water is very important source, and government should provide adequate and timely supply of water to the agriculture sector. So now we'll see what are the main sources of water in our Telangana state. So what are the main sources of irrigation in Telangana state are, see, we get irrigation through canal, well irrigation, tank irrigation, and there are other sources also, children. Okay, so now we'll see in the year 1960 and 61, the canal irrigation is 19%, and well irrigation is 19%, and tank irrigation is 60%. So if you take 2013 and 14, the dependence on canal irrigation has been reduced, children. So it is only 14%, and the dependence on well irrigation or tube irrigation, it has increased. See, it has gone up to 73%, and the irrigation through tanks has come down to only 8%. It means that people depending on tanks or canal irrigation has been totally reduced, and people are depending more on tube wells. Means they are drawing water from the underground water. So it is the responsibility of the government to provide all these facilities. So after the Telangana state has been formed, the government it gave much priority to the development of irrigational facilities, and it has implemented various projects. And now we'll see the present status of irrigation projects in our Telangana state. So the first project is Kaleshwaram project. So this Kaleshwaram project, it is conceived from B.R. Ambedkar Pranahita Chevala Sujala Shravanti project, children. Okay, so actually this was this project was proposed to utilize 160 TMC of Godavari water. Okay, and a barrage was constructed. Barrage was proposed to divert 160 TMC to irrigate 7 districts like Adilabad, Nizamabad, Karimnagar, Medak, Warangal, Nalgonda, and Rangareddy districts. And not only this project, it provides irrigation facilities, it also provides water for drinking purpose and industrial use also, children. But what happened is, after an agreement which was made between the Telangana and Maharashtra government, this B.R. Ambedkar Pranahita Chevala project, it was taken for re-engineering, and the original project was divided components, children. So the first one is Kaleshwaram project, and the next one is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Pranahita project. Now we'll see about the B.R. Ambedkar Pranahita project, children. So this is the project. It diverts 20 TMC of water by constructing a barrage across the Pranahita river. Okay, and this project is constructed at a confluence of river Varda and Vainganga. This is located at the Tummidi Hetti. So this is in Adilabad district. And this project, it provides irrigation facilities for an ayakattu of almost 2 in especially the drought prone areas of East Adilabad district. Now, children, another irrigation scheme in Telangana state is Aligarh Lift Irrigation Scheme, children. So this irrigation scheme is meant to supplement the irrigation facilities to gap the Ayakattu of Nizam Sagar project located in to the district, to the places like Navipet, Renjal, Yeddapalli, then Nizambad, Ditchpalli and Mulkanur mandals of Nizamabad district, and it provides irrigation facilities to almost 53,793 acres, children. And this scheme is proposed to lift 720 cusecs of water from the right bank of Godavari river, which is located near Kosli village. And next project, children, it is Argula Rajaram Gupta Lift Irrigation Scheme. So this scheme is being introduced to provide irrigational facilities to gap the Ayakattu of Nizam Sagar project, which is located in Nizamabad district. And this project, it provides water to almost 38,792 acres, which are lying between the distributaries 74 and distributory 82, children. And the another project is Chautpalli Hanumant Reddy Lift Irrigation Scheme. Okay, and this project is being proposed on a Sherpalli tank, children. So this gets water from the distributive floor of Sriram project, and this irrigation scheme, it provides irrigation facilities to Ayakattu of almost 11,625 acres in almost 11 villages, children, of Kammarpalli and Morthad mandals. They are located in Nizamabad district. And this will provide almost water around 120 cusecs of water. And another project, children, it is Lendi Interstate Project. And this is an interstate major irrigation project, children. So it belongs to both Telangana and Maharashtra government. But the headworks are located at Munket. It is in Nanded district of Maharashtra state. And this provides irrigation to almost 49,000 acres. And out of that, 22,000 acres, it belongs to Telangana region, and 27,000 acres belongs to Maharashtra state, children. And 6.36 TMC of water is being shared to Telangana state, and 3.93 TMC of water is being shared to Maharashtra state. And another project, children, it is M. Bhagareddy Singur project. And this project, it is constructed across the Manjira River. See, Manjira River, it is the tributary of Godavari River. And the capacity of this Singur project is 29.91 TMC of water. And it is located near Singur village. It is in Sangareddy district. And this project, it provides 4 TMC of water to the Twin Cities children. And it also provides irrigation facilities to Ayakattu of almost 40,000 acres of Sangareddy and Medak district. And next project, children, it is J. Chokkarao Devadula Lift Irrigation Scheme. So this is a irrigation scheme which lifts almost 38.16 TMC water from Godavari River near the Gangaram village, children. It is in Etu Nagaram Mandal. It belongs to Warangal district. And this irrigation scheme, it irrigates an Ayakattu of 6.21 lakh acres, especially in drought-prone areas of Karimnagar, Warangal, Jaishankar Bhupalpalli district, Siddipet, Yadadri, Jangaon, and Suryapet districts. So this provides irrigation to almost most of the districts. And one more project, children, it is Lower Penganga project. So this is an interstate project. This is built between the Telangana and Maharashtra states on the Penaganga River. So this Penaganga River, it is a tributary of Godavari River. And the headworks of this project, they are located near Tatsauli village. It is in Yavatal district. It is a part of Maharashtra state. And this project, it will utilize 37.55 TMC of water, and out of that 5.21 TMC water is utilized by Maharashtra state. And uh, and it also provides irrigation for 47,520 acres in Tamsi. See, this is in Adilabad and Jainat and Bela mandals of, these are all the mandals of Adilabad district, children. So this provide irrigation facilities to almost most of the districts of Adilabad. Then Sitarama Lift Irrigation Scheme. So this is an irrigation scheme. So it also draws water from Godavari River. So this is built on Damagundam, Dummugudam Anikat. So this is located in Bhadradri, Kottagudam district, children, and it draws 9,000 cusecs of water. And Tupakulagudam barrage, children, it is also called as Sammaka barrage. So this barrage, it is located in Tupakulagudam village. It is located in Etu Nagaram Mandal, and it belongs to Warangal district. And this barrage, it utilizes the Godavari river water by diverting and lifting the existing Devadula lift irrigation scheme, and it provides water to almost 6.5 acres of uh, uh, to Warangal and Nalgonda districts, and it provides irrigational facilities. And not only that, it also generates hydroelectric power, and it also provides domestic water supply, and this water is also used by the industries also, children. The next another project, children, it is Sri Kumaram Beam project. So it is a medium reservoir which is built across the Peddavagu river. So this Peddavagu river, it is also one of the tributary of Pranahita river. So this is located as at Adda village. This belongs to Kumaram Beam Mandal, and it is located in Adilabad district, children. And it provides water supply to Kumaram Beam, Vankidi, and Kagas Nagar and Sirpur mandals. So this it provide water to all these mandals, and it also irrigates more than 45,000 acres of land. Then another project, children, it is Pallemvagu project. So this is a medium irrigation project which is built across the Pallemvagu stream, children. So this is a major tributary of river Godavari, and this is located, and this project is located near Mallapuram village. It belongs to Venkatapur Mandal, and it is located in Bhupalpalli district, children. And this project, it provides irrigation facilities to 10,132 acres of land, and it also provides this drinking water supply also. And another project, children, it is Sri Ram Sagar project. So this is also known as Pochampadu project, and this is located in Nizamabad district. And this project, it is built across the Godavari river, and it provides irrigational facilities to Karimnagar, Warangal, Adilabad, Nalgonda, Khammam, all these district, children. And it also provides drinking water to Warangal urban also, and it has an hydroelectric plant also in this near this project, children. Then another project, children, Nizam Sagar Dam. So this Nizam Sagar Dam, it is located in Achampet village. It is located in Nizam Sagar Mandal. So this is constructed in the year 1923, children, by Mir Usman Ali Khan. See, he is the 7th Nizam of Hyderabad state, and he has constructed this dam. And this is a reservoir which is constructed across the Manjira river, children. And this Manjira river, it is the tributary of Godavari river, and this dam, it is located between Achampet and Banjipalli villages of Kamareddy district. Then another project, children, it is Kardam project. So this is called as Kardam Adi Narayan Reddy project, and this is a reservoir. This is a reservoir which is built on river Kardam, and this river Kardam, it is a tributary of Godavari river, and it is located near the Kardam Mandal, and it is located, and it belongs to Nirmal district. Hello, ma'am.
హలో
స్క్రీన్ కనిపిస్తుందా? మ్యామ్,
ఇప్పుడు కనిపిస్తుంది, ఇందాక కనిపించలేదు.
మ్యామ్, అది పవర్ పోయింది, అది నేను నెట్.
ఇప్పుడు మళ్ళీ చేస్తాను, రికార్డింగ్ మళ్ళీ చేయాల్సి వస్తుంది. आप వాటర్ తాగండి ప్రవీణ ప్రవీణ వాటర్
మ్యామ్
తాగండి.
నాది ఇది వైఫై కి కనెక్ట్ చేశాను, పవర్ పోయింది మ్యామ్. అట్లా
నేను మాట్లాడతాను మేడం తోటి. పర్వాలేదు, రిలాక్స్ అవ్వండి. శైలజ మ్యామ్ తనది పవర్ పోయి ఇప్పుడు ఆగింది రికార్డింగ్. అది
డోరే బయట నుంచి గోలే.
మ్యామ్ కంటిన్యూ.
Please continue.
ఎస్ మ్యామ్. ఒక్క నిమిషం. Children, we have one more project. It is Mahatma Gandhi Kalvakurti lift irrigation project. So this is a lift irrigation project on Krishna River, and this project, it is located in Mahbubnagar district, and this has a project was laid in the year 1984, but the actual work was started in the year 2014. And this lift canal starts from Sri Sailam Dam near Kolhapur, and this project, it provides irrigation for 4 lakh acres in almost 300 villages which are located in Kolhapur, Vanaparthi, Kalvakurti, Jadcherla and Achampet Mandal, children. And next irrigation project, children, it is Rajiv Bima irrigation scheme. So this irrigation project, it is located in Narayanpet district, and the water is lifted at Panchadev Pahad from the backwaters of Jurala Dam, and another lift canal originates from Raman Pahad, and this river Bhima, it starts from the Western Ghats at Bhimashankar village. It is located in Maharashtra, and this river Bhima, it is a tributary of Krishna River, children. And this project, it irrigates 2 lakh acres, benefiting the areas like Matkal, Ajmakjur, Vanaparthi, Kolhapur. These are all the villages of Mahbubnagar district. Then another irrigation project, children, it is Jawahar Nettampadu lift irrigation scheme. And this irrigation scheme, it lifts 21.42 TMC of water from Priyadarshini Jurala project. And this is a reservoir which has been to create irrigation for 2 lakh acres, especially in drought prone areas of Gadwal and Alampalli constituencies of Mahbubnagar district. And not only that, it also provides drinking water facilities to these all the areas of Mahbubnagar district. Next, another project, children, it is Priyadarshini Jurala project. So this is a dam which is being constructed on Krishna River, which is located in Joglamba, Gadwal district. And the total capacity of this project is 11.941 TMC. And this project is a multi-purpose project, and there is a power project constructed near this project, and it is being maintained by Telangana State Power Generation Corporation Limited. And next project, children, it is Rajoli Banda Diversion Scheme, and this is an interstate project of Karnataka and Telangana government, and it consists of an anicut built across the Tungabhadra River, children, and this is located in Raichur district in Karnataka state, and this is going to benefit the villages of Manvi of Karnataka and Alampur villages of Mahbubnagar district. Next irrigation scheme, children, it is Koil Sagar lift irrigation scheme. So Koila Sagar Dam, it is been located in Koil Sagar village, and this is located in Devar Kadra Mandal, and it belongs to Mahbubnagar district. And this reservoir, it is a medium reservoir with a water storage capacity of 60 million cubic meters. And this dam was constructed on Peddavagu. And you know, children, this Peddavagu river, it is a tributary of Krishna River. Next, another project, children, it is Palamuru Rangareddy Lift Irrigation Scheme. So to create irrigation in upland areas of Nagar Kalnur, Mehboob Nagar, Vikarabad, Rangareddy and Nalgonda district and Ayakattu. So it provides irrigation facilities to almost 12.30 acres of land. And next irrigation scheme, it is Gattu Lift Irrigation Scheme. And this Gattu Lift Irrigation Scheme, it is located in Penchikala village in Jogulamba, Gadwal district. And this scheme, it irrigates an ayakattu of 28,000 acres in uplands of Gattu, Dharur, Dodi mandals of Jogulamba, Gadwal districts. And next, children, it is Dindi Lift Irrigation Scheme. So this irrigation scheme, it provides drinking water to most severely affected areas by fluoride. You know, this Nalgonda, most of the Nalgonda districts, they are severely affected by fluoride, children. So in order to provide drinking water facilities, this lift irrigation scheme was being taken up by the Telangana government. And it also provides water to Devarkonda and Mundugodu constituencies of Nalgonda district. And it also provides irrigation facilities to 3.61 acres of almost 4 districts, children, like Nagar Karnool, Nalgonda, Yadadri, Bhuvanagiri, and Rangareddy districts. Next one, children, it is Udaya Samudram lift irrigation scheme. So this scheme, it lifts 6.27 to 70 TMC of water from the reservoir of Almaneti, Madhav Reddy, Sri Salem Left Bank Canal, and it provides irrigation facilities to especially the drought prone areas of Nakrekal, Munugodu, then Tungaturti. So these are all the places related to Nalgonda district. So this lift irrigation scheme provides water to drought prone areas of these districts. And next project, children, it is Nagarjun Sagar project. So this Nagarjun Sagar project, a dam was built across the Krishna River in the border of Nalgonda and Guntur district. And it's a right canal, children. It's right canal. It irrigates 1.11 million acres to Andhra and 0.32 million acres to in Telangana state. Next project is Sri Salem project. So this Sri Salem project, it is constructed on Krishna River in the borders of Mehboob Nagar and Kurnool districts. And this project, it irrigates almost 4.20 lakh acres. And this is the largest capacity working hydroelectric station in our country. And another, so children, so these are all the various irrigation projects which are being undertaken by Telangana government. And we also have a scheme undertaken by Telangana government. It is Mission Kakatiya. So Mission Kakatiya, the main tag of this program is Manavuru Manachervu. Okay, and so under this program, it will restore all the minor irrigation tanks and lakes which are located in Telangana region. And till now, 46,531 tanks and lakes, they are rejuvenated, means their storage capacity has been increased. And the project cost of this program is almost 8,735 crores. Next, children, we'll see the how the education is there in Telangana state. So we all know that Telangana, like the 45th article of Indian Constitution, it has the responsibility on states to provide free and compulsory education to both boys and girls of age group 6 to 14 years. And we'll see what is the literacy rate in Telangana. So if you observe this table, children, see the literacy rate in Telangana along with all India. So the male literacy is 75% and female literacy is 57%, and total literacy rate in our Telangana state is 66%, children. And all over India, the literacy rate is 72%. And if you look at the rural and urban areas, the literacy rate is more, it is 81%. And rural areas, it is less compared to urban areas, it is only 57%. And the literacy rate in SC and ST, it is given in the table, children. The SCs comprise of 58% and STs are of 49%. Okay. And if you look at the another table, children, see, from the age group of 7 to 14 years, 90% of the people are literates in Telangana. And if you take 15 to 24 years, 86% of people are literates in Telangana. And all over India, it is 87 and 86%. So Hyderabad literacy rate is more. It stands in the first. It is around 83.25%, and the least literacy rate district is Jogulamba Gadwal district. It is 49.87%. And the Hyderabad, Medchal, Malkajgiri, Warangal, Urban, Rangareddy, and Karimnagar. So these states, these districts are having above the state average around 66.54 percentage of literacy rate. Now we'll see the education status of the state children. See, the total states schools in our state are 40,597, and out of that, 26,000 belong to state government, and 3,269 are welfare and residential schools, and 678 are aided schools, and 10,369 are private schools, and 180 are madrasas. Okay, and 51 schools are, they belong to central government. We'll see the enrollment of students in 2017 and 18. So in 2017 and 18, 58.71 lakh students are there, and out of that, 53% students belong to private schools, and 47% students are going to government schools. And the gross enrollment ratio in 2017 is, in primary school children, 98.76% are boys and 98.05% are girls. And in upper primary schools, 87.32 are boys and 88.47 are girls children. And we'll see the pupil teacher ratio. So in 2018 and 19, in primary schools, the pupil teacher ratio is 18.90 children, and upper primary schools it is 14.10%, and the secondary schools the pupil teacher ratio is 17.85, and overall pupil teacher ratio is 17.67 in Telangana state. Now we'll see the school education in Telangana state. So the Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan, so this is a centrally sponsored scheme. Under the central sponsored scheme, we have two Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan and Rashtriya Madhyamika Shiksha Abhiyan. So the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, it is the scheme introduced to universalize the elementary education, and Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan, this is to provide the access and quality of secondary education. And along with that, we also have Kasturba Gandhi Balika Vidyalayas, and these schools are started in July 2004, and the classes are from 6 to 8, and these schools are specially meant for girl education. So all the girls belonging to SC, ST, and other backward classes and minority communities, and the people who are below the poverty line, they can join in this schools children. And we also have model schools. So the government of India, it has launched the scheme of setting up of almost 6,000 model schools in educationally backward blocks in the whole country. And in our state, 194 model schools are started in the year 2013 and 14. So these schools are started to provide quality education in English medium by highly qualified teachers. And we also have intermediate education in our state. So there are 2,558 junior colleges, and the total enrollment of students in these colleges are 7.18 lakh students. And out of these colleges, 404 are government junior colleges, and there are 4 vocational junior colleges, and 41 private aided junior colleges, and 1,583 private and other junior colleges are there, and 530 government institutions. So these are all the intermediate education institutions. And higher education. See, the Telangana State Council for Higher Education, it came into existence from August 2014. So this looks after the higher education in Telangana State. So under the collegiate education, it provides equity and quality in higher education, and Rashtriya Uchatar Siksha Abhiyan, RUSA. So this provides funds for construction of buildings, infrastructure, and improvement of academic activities. And there are 132 government degree colleges in our state and 9 autonomous degree colleges. And these degree colleges, they are having a choice based system, and they also have a semester wise examination system. And this semester wise examination is being introduced from the year 2016 and 17 in undergraduation courses. Next uh, program is it is those children, those degree online services. So the Telangana government, it has introduced this online admission for undergraduate courses in the year 2016 through web based system called those. So in the year 2018 and 19, so almost 2 lakh 472 students, they got admitted into various courses like BCom, BSc, BA, under this web-based system called those. And we also have technical education in Telangana state. So there are 820 diploma and degree level and professional institutions. And in these, 1,36,000 students are studying in technical education. And we also have social welfare educational institutions children. So in the social welfare institutions, we have scheduled caste residential schools. They are named as TSWREIS. So totally there are 268 scheduled caste residential schools, and out of 268, 175 are schools meant for girls. And we have scheduled tribe residential schools. So there are 153 residential schools and junior colleges, and out of that 22 residential junior degree colleges are there for boys and girls. And we also have BC welfare residential schools children, so they are called as Mahatma Gandhi Jyotibai Phule BC welfare residential schools. So there are 261 BC welfare schools, and out of that 19 residential junior colleges are there for both boys and girls, and there is one residential degree college. And we also have minority residential institutions children. So there are 261 minority residential institutions, including 12 colleges. And we'll see the health sector in Telangana state. See, the health sector in Telangana state, see, the health is very important. So we'll see what are the policies or programs which are being initiated by the Telangana government. So the Human Development Index, it indicates the uh, per capita income, health status of the people, literacy, and education. So the health status of the people, it depends on the education and how protected drinking water people are having. And it also depends on the hygiene facilities and it also depends on the pollution free environment. So if all these facilities are there, then we can say that the health status of the people is good. Okay, so we have health sub centers, like we have sub centers, 4,797 sub centers in Telangana, primary health centers 633, urban primary health centers 249, and we also have 90 community health centers, and area hospitals are 19 in Telangana state, and there are 29 district hospitals and 9 medical college hospitals and 12 specialty hospitals and 2 super specialty hospitals. And now, children, we'll see what are the programs which are introduced by the Telangana government in order to maintain good health of the people of Telangana. So the first program is Kanti Velugu. So this program, it is launched on August 15th in the year 2018. So this program, it will provide a free vision test for all the people in the Telangana, and it will also provide free spectacles, and it also provides medicines and surgeries if there is a need, children. And another scheme introduced by Telangana government is, it is Basti Davakana, children. So this especially the GHMC. So this has launched this Basti Davakana program in April 2019. So the main aim of this program is to provide primary healthcare services to those people who are not served in, especially in urban areas. And another program is health and wellness centers. So these wellness centers are being provided to provide healthcare for non-communicable diseases, and they will also provide maternal and child care, and they will also provide medicines and diagnostic services. Next program, children, it is Telangana Vaidya Vidhana Parishad hospitals. So these hospitals, they have been effect from 2nd June 2014. So there are 159 hospitals, and these hospitals, they were developed under the World Bank funding, and new buildings, and it will help in construction of new buildings, and it will also help in purchasing of minor and major equipments in these hospitals. Next program, children, it is Ayush. So Telangana government, along with the National Ayush Mission, it wants to encourage the people of Telangana to use the Ayush system of medicine also. So what is this Ayush medicine means? The Ayurvedic, homeopathic medicine, naturopathy medicine. So presently there are 860 dispensaries which are functioning under the Ayush department in our state. Then Arogyasri Healthcare Trust. So this is an insurance scheme which is being implemented by Telangana government, and this has come into effect from 1st April 2007. So the main aim of this scheme is to provide quality health care to poor people, and it also provide financial assistance to below poverty line families. So the entire premium means they can take any treatment from any of the hospitals, and the cost which is incurred for taking that treatment, that will be paid by the government on behalf of these below poverty line families, children. Then another scheme is KCR kit. So this KCR kit is introduced by Telangana government. So under this scheme, it provides all the necessary items for pregnant women and newborn baby. And not only that, it also provides 12,000 rupees if a male child is born, and 13,000 rupees if a female child is born, children. And the amount will be dispersed to the parents in 3 phases. And this scheme is being effect from 4th June 2014. And now we'll see what is the how the poverty is prevailing in our Telangana state. So we have two estimates committees, children. So Tendulkar expert group poverty estimate committee. So So this has given an estimate saying that in the year 1993 and 1994, the poverty in rural areas is 49%, and in urban areas it is 30.5%. And in 2011 and 12, the poverty has been reduced to children. See, in rural areas, it is only 11%, and in urban areas, it is 5%. And we also have one more committee. It also has given a report on the poverty estimation. It is Rangarajan committee. So it says that in rural areas, the poverty is only 9.3%, and in urban areas, it is 11.1%, and in all over India, it is 29%. So it means that the poverty in Telangana is very less compared to poverty in all over India. And now we'll see the unemployment status in Telangana state. So if you observe this table, children, we'll see the rate of unemployment in Telangana and India. So in the year 2004 and 5, in rural areas, the male unemployment is 9.4 and female unemployment is 13.6. Okay, so it is in Telangana state in 2004 and 5, the rate of unemployment is 11%, and in 2011 and 12 it has gone down. So yeah, unemployment rate has been reduced. It is only 4 children. And next, if we take the unemployment rate in India, so it is 8.2 in 2004 and 5 and 5.7 in 2011 and 12. So this is about rural areas. Now we'll see in urban areas. So in urban areas, the unemployment in Telangana is 7.2 in 2004 and 5, and 2011 and 12 it is 6, and all over India it is 8.3 in 2004 and 5.5 in 2011 and 12. So overall, how many persons, the rate of unemployment in Telangana is 2011 and 12, it is 4.7%. And in 2011 and 12 in India, it is 5.6 children. Now we'll see the various programs which are being introduced by the Telangana government for improving the standard of living of the people. So these are all the welfare programs which are introduced by Telangana government. So the first one is Asara pension scheme. So Asara means to help. Okay, so this program is being launched first at Kottur in Mehboob Nagar district on 8th October 2014. So under this scheme, it provides 2,000 rupees for old aged people, the beady laborers, the widows, weavers, toddy tappers, and AIDS patients. And it also provides 3,000 rupees for disabled people. Another welfare scheme, children, it is Arogya Lakshmi. So this scheme was launched on January 1st, 2015, and it provides one nutritious meal every day to pregnant women and children below 6 years who are living below the poverty line. And this meal is being provided at the Anganwadi centers. And under this scheme, there is also one more scheme called Rekkalu scheme. Okay, so what is this Rekkalu scheme means? See, this provides subsidy for the ANMs to purchase two-wheelers. Why? Because if they want to visit the pregnant women, they have to go to door, children, isn't it? So uh, for helping these ANMs to purchase that two-wheeler, this Rekkalu scheme has been introduced. Then another welfare program, children, it is Ammavadi. So this scheme is being introduced on 3rd June 2017. So the aim of this Ammavadi is to reduce the infant and maternal mortality rate, children. And not only that, so it provides medical and transportation facilities. See, this 102 van, it will come to the women who is going to take delivery in government hospitals. So it will take to the hospital, and again it will after the delivery also it will leave it to their house. So it also provides 12,000 rupees to the lady for in 3 installments. And if a girl child is born, it also provides 1,000 rupees additional amount. Another welfare scheme is Mission Bhagiratha Children. So this Mission Bhagiratha, it is launched on August 6th in 2016 in Komati Banda. It is in Gajwel, Medak district. So under this Mission Bhagiratha, it provides clean drinking water from the rivers of Krishna and Godavari. So it provides 100 liters per capita day in rural areas and 135 liters in municipalities and 150 liters of water in municipal corporations. So this program, this scheme, it provides clean drinking water to all the people, because see, the government, it wants to see that earlier the women used to carry pots on their head and they used to walk for miles. So to eradicate that, to remove that problem, the government has introduced this program called Mission Bhagiratha. Then another program, children, it is housing for poor. So under this scheme, double bedroom house, it is also called as double bedroom housing scheme, or it is also called as 2 BHK scheme. So this scheme provides 2 and 3 storied buildings with 2 bedroom hall and kitchen flats in Hyderabad and other urban areas. And independent houses are being constructed in rural areas under this scheme. And another scheme, children, it is rice distribution. So this rice distribution scheme, it is launched from 1st January 2015. And this scheme, it supplies rice under the public distribution system at 6 kgs per person. Means one person, he'll be given 6 kgs at a cost of 1 rupee per kg. Until now, 2 crore 86 lakh people were benefited by this program. And not only that, it also supply super fine rice, sannabiyam. See, even in your schools also, all the school midday meals, in your midday meals and the hostels, no, you will be provided this fine rice only. So due to this scheme, almost 56 lakh students are being benefited under this rice distribution program. And there are SC and ST Special Development Fund, children. So government, what it will do is it will formulate its budget in two heads. One is SC Special Development Fund and the other is Special Development Fund. So under these funds, it will means all the welfare programs like Kalyana Lakshmi, Sannabiyam and hostel facilities. So all these are provided under these budgets only. Then another welfare scheme is Kalyana Lakshmi Children. So this Kalyana Lakshmi program scheme, it provides financial help of 1,116 rupees for SC, ST and BC brides at the time of marriage. And this program, it is launched in the year 2014. And one more program is Ambedkar Overseas Nidhi Scheme. So this is a financial assistance which is provided to SC, ST and minority students. So children, whoever wants to go for higher education in abroad, see, for them, the government is going to give you 20 lakh rupees, children. See, even after you complete your intermediate, if you want to go for to study doctor, your medicine course or engineering or any other management professional courses, no, even see, you should get more than 60% marks and you can apply for this, and government will provide you 20 lakhs financial assistance for those students who want to pursue higher education in abroad countries. Then another scheme, children, it is land purchase scheme. So this is the scheme which is meant for poorest of the poor SC women. See, the people who are not at all having any land. So for them, the government is going to give 3 acres of land. And if at all a woman is having a half acre or 1 acre, the rest of the land will be given by the government. So under this scheme, the district collectors, they are given the right to purchase the land costing from 2 to 7 lakhs per acre. And another scheme, children, it is economic support scheme. So this scheme, it provides financial assistance to especially the tribal population. They can in agriculture, horticulture, fisheries. minor irrigation, animal husbandry, and self-employment. See, if anyone want to have these kind of activities, okay, the government will provide financial assistance. Then another program is Forest Right Act 2006. So under this Forest Right Act, the government it gives individual titles. Means the farmers, the especially the people who are living in forest, they are given the right over the land. So under this, 3 lakh acres of land was distributed to the people who are living in forest areas. And in the year 2018 and 19, 91,000 farmers were being distributed. Around 2.99 lakh acres of land was given to them under the Raitu Bandhu scheme. And there are some BC development and welfare programs, children. See, the first one is most backward uh, development classes development corporation. So this corporation, it is established on 25th May 2017. So this will provide educational and financial assistance to most backward communities among the BCs. Okay, so this is under this program, it 1,000 crores are being allotted for the year 2018 and 19. So it will provide training programs, like if anyone wants to have a self-employment, uh, they want to have a self-employment, so it will give training and it will also give financial assistance. Then another scheme, children, it is bank linked subsidy scheme. So under this scheme, it provides financial assistance. If any person want to set up any self-employment business unit, so for that government will give subsidy, and that subsidy will be linked to the bank, children. See, if they want to take a loan up to 50,000, then 100% subsidy is given. Then if they want to take a 1 lakh unit, then 80% of subsidy is given. And if they want to take 2 lakh loan, 2 lakh to 10 lakh loan, 60% subsidy is given to these people. So this is also a welfare scheme introduced by Telangana government. And another program, children, it is training, employment, and skill development. So this program, it arranges self-employment, especially for minority youth through Minority Finance Corporation. So this is in collaboration with NAC and CETWIN. So NAC means it is a National Academy of Construction. So this is an institution. It provides training for the youth, especially in skills related to construction activities. And we also have an organization called institute called CETWIN. So this will also provide trainings related to your computers or any other professional technical skills. So these two, by taking the help of these two institutions, the government will provide training and it will also provide employment opportunities to the unemployed youth in our state. Then the last program, children, it is Shadi Mubarak scheme. So under this scheme, it provides 1,116,000 rupees to eligible minority bride families at the time of the marriage. So children, I hope you all have understood the lesson properly. So please refer your textbook also. This is very important topic. So this is like you can gain much knowledge, and these uh, topics, whatever you have learned in this unit, are very much useful for you to prepare for competitive exams also. So now we will recollect what we have learned in today's session, children. So children, we have learned the various energy sources which are available in Telangana state, and we also have learned the irrigational sector, like what are the various irrigational projects and schemes which are being introduced by Telangana government. And we also have learned the education status in Telangana state, and the various programs which are introduced in Telangana for the benefit of the health of the people. Then next, the poverty and unemployment status in Telangana, we have discussed. And we also have discussed various development and welfare programs which have been undertaken by the Telangana government in Telangana state. So children, there are few questions. Like first one is discuss the importance of Kaleshwaram project. Explain the various irrigation facilities available in Telangana and write about welfare programs of Telangana. Thank you, children.
Really, it was a wonderful session, Pravina ma'am. Knowing about our state, like it is the largest rural state with two and a half state population classified as urban, and our state is also known as the treasure trove of tourism and destinations about its hospitality, multicultural and pluralistic society. Thank you, Pravina ma'am, for making us enlightening with our state, and constituting the majority part of the Telangana is about the Deccan Plateau, and it has a pleasing climate with a good natural resources like rivers of Godavari and Krishna. It is also considered as the seed capital of India. Hope children, you all must have jotted out the points and making a note of all the concepts which are to be learned for your IPA examination. Thank you once again, Pravina ma'am, Shailaja ma'am, and all the webinar viewers. And here we are signing off from this session. Thank you. Stay safe. Take care.